Hi, Abby. How's it going?
Hi, Tiffany. Good. How are you?
Very well. I'm very, very excited about this conversation. It's brought up a lot of emotions, a lot of uh, response about what I want to do, what we want, both positives, both negative. It's just definitely something that is affected people's lives. And yeah, we wanted to discuss it with everybody today because we've taken the bold move from now on. We are going to be quitting social media, meaning Facebook and Instagram specifically, both from CAF-Innate Academy, but also I'm doing that business as well. That's I've decided as well to do that. Why we're doing it, how we actually get business without social, and would love to hear your thoughts, everybody who's watching. Also, if you're watching the replay, drop comments. We will be answering them as well. So this is an opportunity to just have a chat, discuss, get maybe have a new point of view by the end of this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And please do let us know in the comments if you can hear us and see us okay, so that we know that you are there. And feel free to, while we are going through this conversation, just fleshing out this idea, this adventure that we're about to embark on. If you've got any questions or insights or thoughts that you feel are relevant, please do share, because we learn from each other. And that's exactly why we decided to have this conversation. And we literally did think, are we just going to do it? Just pull the plug and just not post anymore and delete our accounts? Or should we have a discussion about it? And we came to the conclusion that, well, we learn from each other, seeing and hearing what other people are doing, what they're thinking, why they're thinking that, why they're doing that. We learn from each other in that way. And so that is our intention with coming here and just sharing our thought processes. And the irony is, that Tiffany and I are all about helping women build their online confidence. And so social media is a big part of online confidence. And here we are saying that we're quitting social media. So it's kind of there's a juxtaposition in what what our mission is, but then also how we're going about it. And so we want to flesh that out so that you understand where we're coming at. And like Tiffany said, with the response that we've had, it's apparent that we're not the only people who are thinking along these lines. So please let us know if you've ever considered quitting social media in your business online strategy, and let us know why. Like, what's the main reason why you would quit social media? We'd love to hear and discuss.
Well, we've got Jessie, who's also having this dilemma. So she's here to find out, what to do, perhaps. And Rose is also looking forward to glean some seriously challenging ideas here today. And she can hear and see us fine. Fantastic. And hi,
Fabulous.
Kim. Thanks for joining us.
Fabulous. Awesome. So yeah, we've been toying with this idea for a while. This is not it might seem like it's a pretty rushed idea, a rushed decision, but it's not. Behind the scenes, it's been something that we've been contemplating for quite some time. And we are now taking action on that. So there are many reasons why we've come to this decision. We want to share that with you, to be transparent, to voice what's come up for us, and perhaps just in the voicing of that, it kind of affirms for you what you might be feeling. So, and like I said, let us know in the comments where you're at with regard to social media. So do you want to kick off, Tiffany, what our reasoning was?
Well, in terms of, for me at least, personally, I have had a love-hate relationship with social media. For my personal life, but also business, because of the field that I'm in and online marketing. So personally, I'm not one of those people that likes to share my personal life, where I go, my pictures of my children or anything like that. For me, it's a private thing, and only the close people that I have in my life are part of it, And so I don't like sharing it across the world to people I don't know. But On the other side, I have this in my head that having a business, and especially a personal brand focused business, so where I am the brand, to create the connection with followers, potential clients, there is this thought that we need to show our lives on social media. And I have always had this resistance. I've reluctantly done it, and I will get into it. Yes, I'm going to do it. I start posting for a week or two, and then I lose steam because it's just not me. It's not my genuine self. Whereas I see other people on social media which are happy to post about themselves and taking the kids to the school and all those kind of things. But I know that's not me. So I've always found it a huge chore and burden to do my own social media. And then it also crosses a line, you know, I'm advising my clients as well. And naturally, social media is part of the strategy. But is it? Should it be? And that's where the questions come up. And I think, Gabby, you and I were having this conversation a couple of months ago, and we said it just takes up so much of our time creating content for social media. I mean, a post on Facebook and Instagram lasts a couple of hours and then it's gone. You are victim of the algorithm, you know, so you have to keep creating more content. You're on this hamster wheel where it's just going around, and you spending maybe 2 hours a week sometimes creating posts, writing it, then designing the graphics if you're going to be using graphics, or taking photos, then posting it, scheduling it. And that's a lot of time. And you're always having to create new content. And there must be a better way to be more effective with your time and get off that hamster wheel. So that was those were my thought processes when I kind of said, do we really need it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that all leads to overwhelm and exhaustion, and then my experience of it has been, although I enjoy creating content, but it has led to that point, like needing to feed that monster, needing to stay on that hamster wheel. It has created like that creative burnout, that eventually it takes the fun out of creating what you want to create, you know, and knowing where that line is of what you will share, what you won't share is one thing. But then when you've got that clarity, you want what you create, you want to enjoy creating it, because you're injecting your energy into every piece of content that you do share on social media, on the web. It's like a recipe, you know, the best recipes are the ones that are made with love. You know, and it comes out in the flavor of the food. And the same is true for your content, that if you're not doing it, if it is that chore, like you said, if it is that chore, that comes through. People sense that, people feel it. And I've been there numerous times over the years of like, damn, this is hard work. Damn, this is like, when do you ever get on top of it? It's like a never ending to-do list, a never ending task list. And the overwhelm and the exhaustion and the creative burnout has been a very real, visceral experience for me personally. And that's kind of been top of mind, but I've never really voiced it, because like you say, it's like, well, if you're a content creator, or if you have any form of online presence, that's what you're meant to do. That's what is done. That is how it is done. And so we have never really questioned it. We've never pushed back on, yeah, but is it the only way we can do it? I don't know. And here we are at this point of like, well, actually, let's find out. And that for me is really exciting. I love that. I'm really excited about that. Let's just see here. So Rose, where would I be able to dial into the feedback that you have had thus far? So we've been sharing it with our members in the CAF-Innate Academy. We've been getting a lot of feedback there. Also, we shared it to our newsletters in our personal capacity, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from our clients outside of the academy. And they're coming back and saying, you know what, you're saying what I've been thinking for ages. So we've been putting it out there, and that's been the general gist of what we have been getting. But I'm sure we will summarize everything into a nice, neat blog post or something that you can read up on, Rose, if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Cool.
We've also Got Kim, yeah, she's got the same feeling around management, huge resistance, and that comes across as the energy that you put in. If it's not out of a higher vibration where you are excited and it's positive and everything, but it's just a chore, it's like more of a negative feeling that comes across in your creation, so your posts. So that gets picked up on the other side. So and it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on how to generate business connection if not through social media. Yeah, we'll get to that. So we have a plan which we're going to be trying out, and we're very excited about it. So we will be talking about that just shortly. But we just want to just touch on the reason weight. Why. Yeah, the reason why, the weight that is on our shoulders when we're creating social media. Things like scheduling tools. I mean, you can save money if you're not going to be using social media. You generally have to pay a scheduling tool on later.com or Planoly or all these different things so that you are able to distribute your posts. So you're not manually having to do on each one. So they have already reduced the amount of time that takes to post. However, it's still time consuming. And if you are in a position that you have an assistant that is writing the posts for you, that's also cost, because you don't want to post, so you hire someone to do it. First of all, they're not capturing you in your essence because it's not coming from you. Secondly, it's something that you get away with, so you have that huge disconnect. They're posting what they really want to post. So, but this is, I'm talking about in our experience, in my experience. I mean, there are situations where, yes, it would be conducive for your business to be on social media, but we found for our business, it potentially is not so necessary. Now, I'm going back also to Google Analytics. I always, every time I do any marketing, I always check my Google Analytics to see the response on the activities that I'm putting out there. So how many people are coming from Facebook? How many people are coming from Instagram to your website? And I found from my website and also some of my client websites that the amount of time that we spend posting on social media versus the return of traffic to the website and then that turning into potential clients was so low that I thought this doesn't make any business sense to spend that much amount of time and money on that and not get the results that you kind of expect when you're spending so much time posting and being on social media, answering comments, all that kind of stuff. So from data point of view, I have seen from my business and some of my clients that this is not working.
Yeah, and I think what you touched on there is that this is not, it's not a cookie cutter approach. What works for one person will work differently for another person, and yet we have bought into the lie of, well, we see other people making a success of these different various social media platforms, and therefore if I just keep flogging, or slogging at it and like beating myself over my head to get it done and get it out there and keep it fed and keep it full and keep the feed running, then eventually I will get there. But at what point do you realize that you've actually just sold your soul? The fact that it is such a slog and a chore, and that you're not getting results anyway, is kind of like a big red flag saying there, hey, this maybe is not your thing. It's somebody else's thing and it's working for them because it is their thing. But if it's not your thing, this is your invitation to go find what your thing is, because it's clearly not this. If you're not enjoying it and if you're not getting those results, it's not your thing. So how long will you keep continuing doing this activity on a day-to-day basis when all you're really doing is that voice in your head? You know what it sounds like this isn't working, I hate doing this, oh, I have to do it again. And then when you do outsource, it's like, oh, phew, it's not on my shoulders anymore, it's now somebody else's problem. Like, does that sound like something you really love and really enjoy and really want to be part of? And if the answer is no, like all signs point to no, then why do we do it every day? Why are we doing it every week? Why do we keep on that treadmill? Like we get to, this is our human right, is that we get to choose. And when you're backed by not only the analytics, the results that you see, the growth, all of that, but also your own internal compass telling you that this doesn't feel right. Well, how much more convincing do you need? And just seeing other people succeed at it is not enough of a reason to continue doing it. We're not all made the same.
No, exactly that. And we're also entrepreneurs because most of us, we like it. We enjoy being entrepreneurs. It's a very creative thing to do, to create businesses, to create products, to create, but if we are then having to do something that we don't enjoy anymore, it sucks the life out of the reason why we are in business. And then you just kind of want to give up. I've got here Jessie saying, thank you for starting this conversation. So interesting. Been wondering if it is even possible. Feeling great resistance to it over the past year. I have gone on social media detox for me personally for a month at a time. And I always get dragged back because I think I need it for my business. And I think that I'm getting so much out of it. But the analytics has shown me that it's not. It's all in the mind. It's also where we are seeing other people do it. So we feel, well, like Abby said, we just have to keep going until we succeed. And then I've got Rose saying, ha, Tiffany, that sounds like me, since the thinking quite strongly today has been that one is a dinosaur if you aren't out there on social media making yourself visible. It's a pressure to perform. And also with women over 40, we feel we need to be on there. We see all these youngsters, they are just snapping photos left, right, and center.
TikToking.
Yeah. That's not us. That's not me. And that's okay. And so we have thought that there must be a different way. And all signs have been pointing to this. A couple of months ago, Abby and I discussed, let's phase out social media and move to YouTube. But let's just phase it. We just want to keep one foot in that pond and the other one in the other pond. Yes, let's be safe. Let's not take the risk. And then last week or so, we said, no, this is it. We need to get off this because it's just so draining, time consuming. And what can we do with this extra time that we free up on social media? What can we do with that to actually get results? And then Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp went down a couple of days ago. And we're like, it's a sign.
There's our sign. If we needed one, like global blackout. Perfect timing. Thank you, universe.
Absolutely.
Love it. And on that point, like just on a moral ground, like companies like Facebook, I have a particular personal dislike for how that company is run and what they do, and just seeing all the fake news, and that they allow fake news and all of this kind of hatred and horrible things to happen for the sake of money. As long as their pockets are full, they don't care what impact they have, globally, socially. We've seen just the impact of just terrible things happening and people like living in silos in the digital space, thinking that, oh, this is normal because they're surrounded by a bunch of people who seem to think the same way. But that's just the algorithm feeding, well, you liked that, so you'll like this. And then then people's sense of reality gets so warped. And they're so addicted to this medium of connection that they're not stopping to actually step outside and realize, oh, I can think for myself, and oh, do I really agree, and do I really, or am I just caught up in this whole thing? And personally, I hold, just like with any other news outlets and things like that, I hold Facebook accountable to so many injustices because of how it is warping people's sense of analytical thinking, and just they've plugged in and they've got no idea that they can actually unplug and think for themselves. So for me, it conflicts with major personal values, and it's every time I post on Facebook or even just log on to Facebook, I'm like, fuck. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that.
We feel very strongly about this.
Yeah, really, I do. I get so wound up. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here in my personal capacity, in my professional capacity. I don't want to feed this. It grates me. And it's just, I can't do it anymore. My moral compass has just over this last period become so much louder than the juice that everybody's drinking. So yeah, I'll get off my soapbox now. Sorry. I feel very passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know, we got to do good in this world. You know, what you're doing, whatever you're doing, know that it has impact, good or bad. So what are you choosing?
Absolutely. That's deep. Also, in terms of the algorithm, money making, social media, they are forcing us to advertise because just a tiny, tiny small percentage of people actually get to see your posts, your organic posts, your free posts. And so they say to reach more people, you need to put money behind it. And it's just getting more and more expensive to share your posts out there because your posts disappear pretty much after 5 hours. Yes, you could potentially search, but you know what? It's not a search engine. It's not. It's a feed. It's a timeline. You just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And we're tired of that.
Yeah, it's time to get off. Time to get off the hamster wheel.
Yeah. Kim says, so true, Abigail, the impact on the younger generation is enormous, yet they're just following it like sheep. It scares me. I've got children. I'm really trying to instill in them that they enjoy the real life, that as long as possible, I want them to really have a strong root and memory of real life, so that when they get to the point where they have to choose to be on social media, on their phones, or be outside in nature, I want the nature to draw them back, because what we are seeing is that the youngsters are just lacking in social skills. They are depressed. They are comparing themselves with these picture perfect people, and it just is terrible for their self-esteem. So from a mum point of view, it upsets me that they are going to be exposed to this, and they will. So I want to find other ways to still be connected to the real world as much as we can. Yeah,
and not to be in conflict, because you can't on the one hand tell them, no, you can't be on social media, but mommy is for business, but it's business, you know. And so it's like the do as I say, don't do as I do. But no, they watch what you do, and they will do what you do. And so if there's a duality and an inconsistency, not only will that message not land, but any other lessons that you're teaching them, they'll be like, oh yeah, but mom says one thing, but she does another.
Exactly that. Yeah. So it's a huge point of discussion. There's so many different points to all of this, and it's Rose says, I'm feeling, can of worms. I'm feeling quite relieved by what you're saying. I really was feeling as if we are missing out. Our business is largely hands-on and leaves very little time to impact on social media. Yeah, quite right. Yeah, there is other ways. There are other ways. So.
There are, and we are going to be sharing some of that with you here in this discussion, and also, letting you know that, like, this is, for us, this is an experiment, and so we are going down this path. We've committed to it for the reasons that we've given, and we're going to be sharing what we learn along the way, and how we are implementing it, which we're also going to tell you what our plans are going forward. Rose also says social media is a lifeline for teens and young adults. That peer pressure is so much stronger than you will ever know, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's warped. It's so seriously warped. And even, I mean, young people, but also, us who are more advanced in age, it also messes with us, because we're like, oh, but how can I be relevant? How can I make my mark? If I'm not doing dance moves and all these things that we see, really huge accounts people doing. And what it all comes down to is, for me personally, it's about, well, what's in alignment? Like, who are you at your core? Because when you're in alignment with who you really are, and you're expressing yourself in alignment with who you really are, then the mechanism for how you express that almost becomes irrelevant, because you're no longer competing on just followers and likes and comments and things like that. you're not even competing anymore. You're just expressing. It's not a competition at all. It's just personal expression. And knowing that when you come at it from that point of view, you will attract the people who are meant for you. You will attract the clients who are meant for you when they feel your essence, when they feel your creative energy in everything that you do. And you get to choose how to express that.
And also remember, there are, 7 billion people in the world, and there are enough people, clients for everybody, and they will come to you on the platform, the avenue that you are in, right. You know, so you don't have to feel that you have to be everywhere to get these ideal clients. They will find you on the platform or thing that you are on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get to set up home wherever it suits you. You get to choose. So, let us know if you can relate. Kim says, totally agree with Rose. Imagine I watch my young teen grandsons. I'm sure that Kim can confirm. Yeah, absolutely. And then my grandson bought a pair of shoes for 700 Rand, but stopped wearing it as soon as his buddies mocked those gorgeous shoes. So sad. He lives by social media. Sheesh, that's crazy. That is so crazy. And we got to do our part. So, yes.
Lead by example.
Absolutely. So how we plan to do it and still have a presence online, because we are all about online. You know, we are helping women with their online confidence. Tiffany is all about the lead generation. I'm all about the content creation. And so it doesn't mean that we are disappearing from the online space at all. So we still very much intend to have a presence online. We're just going to go about it in a different way. And we're going to share that with you and hope that it serves you in some way, or maybe sparks an idea of what is right for you. You don't have to copy us. You don't have to do the same, but just figure out for yourself, like, this is your permission to figure out what is right for you. So how we plan to do it and still have a presence. So just on a very practical note, we're going to make an announcement on our social media profiles, and we're going to say we will no longer be active in the social media, or on this Facebook group, on this Instagram account. We're going to be posting a post there with a call to action and a link. Siri bumps in every now and then she takes my voice away. So we're going to post just a link explaining that we're no longer going to keep this profile active, and here's where you can find us, ... with links that they can find us if they happen to come across our platform. And then what else?
Well, we're not going to be posting there. I know this video is streaming there right now, but it's just because we're having this conversation and we want people to understand that we're just going to, if we stop posting, that we've just disappeared. No, there is a reason behind it. So we're going to be saying what our reasons are, which is this video, and that we will move somewhere else, and we will not be engaging on those platforms anymore. We're not going to be posting. So if our followers and members want to follow us, then we will be on a different platform.
Yes. And that platform that we have chosen, the one that we've decided is right for us, is YouTube. We are putting all of our energy into our YouTube channel, both from the CAF-Innate Academy point of view, but also in our individual brands point of view. So we have made that decision to focus wholly and completely on YouTube as our presence, as our, so if you want to call it social media, that's where we're going to be putting all of our focus. So it's all streamlined. It is one platform. We can put all of our energy, time, and effort into that, and not get it watered down by trying to post on too many other platforms. That being said, is not to say that we might never post on any other platform again in the future, but for now, this is where all of our energy is going. It's going to be on YouTube.
And why YouTube? Video. We love video, and that's where the world is heading. it is a chance, video gives you a chance to connect with people much deeper than a picture on a post. Your real identity comes through on video, much more so than on a photo. We can spark conversations like this one on a video. And it's a search engine. So your videos live for months, for years on those platforms because people are actively searching on there. Whereas on social media, it's not a search engine. They disappear, those posts disappear. So those are the main reasons why we want to focus only on YouTube. We love video.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I've been dabbling in video for many years now, but it was only in the last probably 3 years that I really fell in love with it, having come from, a photographer background. And it, as Tiffany said, is the way in which we can really connect with people in the best possible way in the online space. And not only that, but with YouTube being part of the Google ecosystem. So YouTube stands on its own as a search engine, but it also interconnects with the Google search engine. So if somebody, and we all know that Google is the biggest search engine in the world. So if somebody is searching for something, and this is key, that they are actively searching, they're not just scrolling and wasting time. And if you happen to pop up in their feed, then they might click on it. They are actively searching for something. They go to Google for one reason, and that reason is to search. And YouTube videos come up first in a Google search result page. So even if your own search engine optimization on your website is not up to speed, if you have a strong footing on YouTube, you will outrank all of those top. Am I right? I mean, I might be talking out my ass here, but you will outrank all of the those well SEO'd websites because they are pushing YouTube videos.
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube is Google, and they're pushing it. They're pushing it heavily, and so yes, they do show the results very high up on the first page. So that helps a lot. And the content that you create, it can be an old piece of content that is ranking now because it's somebody that's actually searching for that's relevant to them. So in terms of the content creation hamster wheel, we're not having to create constantly for the rest of your life. A video can live years, so you don't have to be creating new things all the time. At the beginning, of course, you need to, because you need to create the content, but then it's much easier to maintain the actual amount of content that you need to create.
Yeah, it's like the compounding effect. For every one video, the duration of time, if it's a video of value, and if you've done your research up front, and if you're creating content that your audience is actively searching for, the value of that video compounds over time as people continue to search it, continue to find it, watch it, and then YouTube will start to share it on your behalf. So not like Facebook or Instagram, where they go out of their way to bury your content because you haven't paid for it. YouTube will show it more for you on your behalf. If they see that people are actually enjoying it, engaging with it, they will actively push it up for you, as opposed
for free.
For free. You don't even have to pay for it. They will push it for free. And so there's this compound effect of your YouTube videos. And so it's all about like finding your groove. And like Tiffany said, the initial creation process might feel like it's going to be overwhelming. But as with anything, as you find your rhythm and you find your groove and you find your routine, and you work that one routine, and that's what's beautiful about this journey that we're embarking on, is that we're freeing up time, energy, effort, creativity, all of these things to put into our YouTube videos, as opposed to then, okay, slap together a YouTube video. And then I'm going to still come up with an Instagram post and a Facebook post and all these other things. No. Time, space, energy, everything into creating good quality YouTube videos so that YouTube becomes our ally in this process, not our enemy.
Yeah, because Google wants to show the right content to the searcher. So that's their aim in their business, is to match what the person is searching for and the result. And so it monitors how many people are engaging with your YouTube video, how many likes, how many comments, and those are signals to Google that it is a relevant piece of content, and therefore they are happy to just share it on your behalf for absolutely free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So Rose is saying, would you be considering a short course on how to utilize YouTube and how to derive benefits in working it? Absolutely. We already have a couple of masterclass tech tutorials in the academy about optimizing your channel, optimizing your default uploads. So yes, absolutely, Rose. It's definitely it's already in production, and will continue as we journey down this adventure, this YouTube adventure. We'll be obviously sharing what we learned. So it will all be inside the academy. And make sure you're subscribed to our channel, because we will be sharing lots of content here on this channel as well, that you can use, like little tips and tricks that you can use to up your YouTube game. So make sure that you are subscribed.
Also asks, how does one play with something like Facebook Lives on the Google platforms? Would that be Hangout? Could you speak about the Hangouts? Facebook Lives is just a live video. So YouTube has a live functionality. This is the studio in your YouTube channel, and you just go live. We are using currently Restream, because Restream we are able to send to YouTube, to Facebook, to Instagram, not to Instagram, sorry, to LinkedIn. But that will no longer be relevant. We will just be on YouTube, and YouTube has its own native studio where you go in, you press a button, go live, and there you go, you're live. So that's the equivalent.
Yeah. And when you do build your community and your following up to your first 1,000, when you get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please, if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to our new channel, because we have 995 subscribers to go. So no, 887. I don't know maths, but we've got a few to go. But when you get to that milestone, then you actually have a community tab on your YouTube channel. You can engage with your audience in that way. You can do your lives like you're chatting with us here. So, and then when you do these lives and making sure that you optimize your titles and all the things that we'll be sharing with you in the coming months, that same live can come up in a search result. If people have engaged with it and are enjoying the content, it is then searchable on Google. You will never get your Facebook Live coming up in Google results.
Never.
They are enemies, mortal enemies. They're not going to play nice with each other. And you'll see that as well. Like if you are already on YouTube and you do have a YouTube channel and you are creating videos, what do you see when you share the link to your YouTube video on Facebook? You don't get any reach on that, because Facebook sees that as you want to take people away from Facebook? Well, then we'll make sure nobody sees it. Correct. So yeah, they do not cross promote. And when Google is the biggest search engine in the world, you want all your content to be on YouTube so that people are finding it when they do their searches.
Also, another beautiful thing about having videos on YouTube is that you can interlink all your other videos in a video.
Yes.
So you've got features like, they're called end cards. So at the end of the video, it recommends another video that they should watch that will help them, or Google can choose for you. In the descriptions, you can link to your other videos. So you can create a whole ecosystem that Facebook, you can't do that. You can't interlink videos. So they kind of watch the video and leave. So, more and more we think about it, and more we talk about it, YouTube for us specifically is the platform to be on. The other alternative, which I also wanted to mention, is also a search engine, and your pins live for a long time as well. It's much more search engine oriented. So your pins live on lots of people's boards. They link directly to your website content, to your blog content. So that's source of traffic. That's what you want. You want your website and your business, and have to be creating new content to drive traffic on a weekly basis. It's just so much lighter, so much easier to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. When you know that the content that you have created is working for you while you sleep, that's fantastic. That's what you want to get to. And every piece of content compounds. So your inbound links increases every time you post a new piece of content.
You do need to have a strategy, though. Rose, I have. Yeah, timing's good.
The timing of this discussion is so cool. Yes, I'm glad.
Fabulous. I can't remember what I was going to say, so we'll carry on to the
You were
next
going to
point.
say about strategy. You do need to have a strategy,
Yes.
which is very important. And we're going to be doing exactly that with our own content. And obviously, we're going to be sharing what we learn along the way. I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I feel like the weight of the world has been lifted off my chest. And I'm like, goody, 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 let me create. I can't wait to go create, because there's so much clarity now. There's so much clarity. We've created this vacuum for good things to come into, and the murkiness has disappeared.
And I am sure we will feel the pull to go back.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a constant nope. Thank you very much. I won't have another glass of that. It's going to be coming back. So we're going to have to stay strong for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's knowing. I mean, preempting our next discussion, but knowing why you're doing it is so important. Having just such clarity of why. And I think this discussion right here, right now, like when we do have those wobbles, we'll come back and watch our own discussion right here, because we've made such great points. I'm sure you'll agree. And with such passion as well.
Absolutely. It's an addiction. I know I am addicted to social media, and I want to stop that. And by acknowledging that with business, I don't have to be on social media.
Yeah.
I have no more leg to stand on to say, no, but I've got to go and check, so
yeah, absolutely. And we know that this is going to not only help us, but it's also going to help our clients, because we are guinea pigging ourselves. And we're going to be able to report back on, well, what didn't work, does work, how are we doing this? We're figuring it out as we go along as well. So by no means have we got it all figured out. It's going to be a messy journey of uncovering. And that's what's so invaluable, that we want to invite you along, like come along for the journey. And when it feels right for you, maybe you might feel compelled to jump. Maybe then it's time for you to, cut, or when it comes the time to cut your ties with all of these heavy platforms and go and play in the spaces that feel light. So if that's Pinterest for you, great. And we would really recommend, favor the search engines. If people are searching for content active, they are warm, they are wanting to find something specific. And if you are the person that can help them with that specific problem, you've got a lead right there. And that's, and so it's not about the fame and the following and the popularity contest. It's about, does this lead to business? Does this generate income? Will this send them to your website and buy your products or book your service? This is not about a popularity contest at all. And that's that addictive part of the brain that, yes, it's a popularity, you must have more followers, must have No, followers are useless if it's not a sustainable business, if it's not leading to something else. And that's what you've got to bear in mind. That's where the strategy comes in. So yeah.
Also, in terms of a practical note, Serena Trading, Jenny, hi Jenny, has triggered this for me. Because she asked, what do you suggest if you're not comfortable in front of the camera? Abby, I'm going to let you answer that. That's your field of expertise.
It is my field, and it is something that I've heard clients say over and over again. When I was a full-time photographer, the first thing they would say when they walk into the studio is, I'm not photogenic, I hate myself in photos. I would hear it constantly. And the same is true for video. As with anything, the so there's two things, and I'm going to give you a very practical tip. But the first thing is something that you will have heard before. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And so it is a point of pulling the plaster and saying to yourself that, well, the only way I'm going to get more comfortable with it is to be uncomfortable with it. Like, go and actually do it. You can avoid it, and then you will never be uncomfortable with it. But then you'll never grow. You will never expand. You will never get to that point of comfort. So you have to be willing to get uncomfortable with it. And then there's this mantra that I use constantly, that I share with my clients. And it came to me as a result of doing in 2018, 365 videos in 365 days. And that was a major learning curve. You can actually, there's a playlist on my website, my Abigail K YouTube channel that you can go and watch if you want to. And you can see how cuck I was in front of camera. I went back to some of my really early YouTube videos yesterday, because now I'm deep in the YouTube strategy and the YouTube education, like upskilling myself, and looking back at some of my old videos, and I cringe when I look at them. I'm like, oh my goodness, you were trying so hard. You had no idea what you were doing. Shame. Even my voice sounds different. Like, I was so high pitched because I was so nervous and I didn't know what I was doing. Like, so I even sounded differently. And that comes with the whole, like, you get practice, you get more comfortable. But the mantra that I came away with from my 365 video exercise was, it's not about me, it's about the message. So it doesn't really matter what you look like, how you sound. The point is that one video can help one person. And if they are having a really bad day and they found your video because they were looking for help, then your video has done its job. Then you have had the impact that you want to have. So just repeat that to yourself. It's not about me, it's about the video. The number of times I've like, okay, here we go. I'm a bit nervous to go and do this. Well, it's not about me at all. It's about how I can help somebody today. It's about the message I need to share. So I hope that helps you, Serena, trading, Jenny.
Jenny, yeah. No, I remember when I first started on video. Well, the reason why I started on video in the first place, I'm not a writer. It takes me forever to write a blog post, takes me forever to write a social media post. I'm constantly doubting myself. And so I gravitated towards YouTube because I could just speak. And I know grammatically I'm terrible because I speak very many different languages, but I get my message across. And I feel I can have a better connection with people that way. But you know what's amazing as well about YouTube is that you can then take that video, you can use a transcription service. So some of them are free, some of them are so cheap, and it will get all the text down for you, and you can use that as a blog post. So you are writing a blog without writing, and that's what I do, because I just don't have the time, the energy and the will to write a blog post. So I will do a video first and repurpose that. So there's lots of different tricks that you can do. And in terms of going back to feeling comfortable in front of the camera, Jenny, so when I was starting, I didn't know what I was speaking about. I would just talk and I would never get my point across. I have a plan now. I have an introduction. I have a note. I have even a printed piece of paper of just things to cue me when I talk. Whereas before I actually wrote out scripts. It's a process, like Abby says. When you first start, you feel uncomfortable. It's not perfect, and also perfection is a myth. It stops you from doing anything, and I gave up on that a long time ago, and hence I do these videos, because it's not about being perfect. It's about getting a message across and helping people. So have a plan, and that will help take that fear away from you.
It does. There's also another very practical thing, is that not all videos need you in the video. There are some very effective videos where it's all B-roll, and if you don't know what B-roll is, it's like cutaway shots, and you can narrate. So if you like writing, you can write your script and then narrate your voice and get the same message across to B-roll. Or you can do animation videos as well to get your point across. So it's really, and that's what's beautiful about this, is that it's a creative expression of what's true for you. It's a creative expression of what feels aligned for you. You get to choose the kind of content you create. Maybe you sketch, and maybe you would, do a top-down shot of what you're sketching or something. you don't always have to, it doesn't always have to be face-to-face in video. It can be there. I mean, there are YouTube channels of all kinds that are doing incredibly well, from like faceless cooking channels where it's just subtle music and then just the visuals of how they create this meal, and they get bajillions of views, you know. So really you don't have to, it's not prescribed that you have to have your face on camera. You can create whatever feels right for you, and you'll warm up with it, and your confidence will grow as you play and experiment. And that's the key thing. You have to have that willingness to experiment. So, yeah.
Also, another avenue that we are working on. So we got the YouTube, we've got blogs. So we repurpose the video into a blog post. But your email list, if you have an email list, work it. And I'm looking at you, Jenny, because they are super powerful. These people are interested in you already. They are nearly ready to buy from you. Really warm them up even more. Don't forget your email list. So that's another idea. If you don't want to be on social media, that's fine. Choose a platform, a search engine platform that you know is going to keep your content alive, and then use that content to nurture your list, your email list. And if you don't have an email list, then you need traffic. And for traffic, you need search engine platforms like YouTube, like Pinterest, to drive traffic to your site with lead magnets.
Yeah. Yeah. Which Tiffany can tell you all about. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, how I summarize it in my head and where the lightness and the clarity comes from is a VBM approach is video, blog, and newsletter. And it's doable. I can totally do that. VBN, just create the video, then share it on your blog, share it on your newsletter, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and Rose asked about LinkedIn. We didn't touch on LinkedIn. For me personally, I'm off LinkedIn. I have been on LinkedIn for years, and I've got a very up-to-date profile. I put all my articles on there, and you know what leads I get from there is people wanting to hire me to be employed. I'm not interested in that. I'm an entrepreneur. I do not want to work for somebody else. So over the years, that's pretty much what I have gotten. It's a good window, I guess, like a showcase, but I'm not active on there at all.
Yeah,
I
guess if your audience is there, if they are actively looking for somebody with your expertise there, if your clients are people who are employed, like I know Licia Dewing, who is a career strategist, her audience is people who are employed. So it makes sense that she is there. Her audience is there. And that's her core focus. That's where she hangs out, and she, is very active on LinkedIn because her clients are literally people who are part of big corporations, and she's helping them through the ladders and all of that. So, you have to know where your audience is, where are they hanging out, and if it makes sense for you, cool, do that. But then do that really well. Let that be your only focus. Drop everything else and put all of your energy into that. And again, just talking about the events earlier in this week, look what happened. Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp went blackout completely. And if you have built everything on a social media platform that you don't own anything of, it can black out. They might decide to close their doors, and then you've got no access to everything that you've built up on those social media platforms. Google is not going anywhere. And if you are repurposing your videos into blog posts and newsletters, that lives on. That is there. You pay for your website to exist. Your newsletters go out and you can repurpose those. So it's about diversifying, I think, and not, making that platform the be all and end all. It's having your ecosystem and being strategic about it.
Yeah, and in terms of LinkedIn, they love video. Mm-hmm. So you could leverage that. If you want to do video, but maybe don't want to do YouTube, you could do video on LinkedIn, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Clubhouse. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's the new kid on the block. I went down that rabbit hole when they opened up, or when I got an invite, whenever it was at the beginning of the year. And it's one of those things that if your audience is there and if it's the way that you like to engage, what's great about it, what people love about it is that it's not video, that it is all audio, and that you engage in that community in an audio capacity. If your audience is there, great, go there and then be 100% there, because that's the thing, it will consume your life and you need to be prepared to do that, and you can't do that if you are feeding all the other channels, so I think the message here is about be focused and be clear on where you want to be and what kind of content you enjoy creating, and then do that 100%, be present.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar too much with Clubhouse, but I mean, it's not a search engine, is it? I mean, how long does your chats, I think it is, your conversations last?
Well, only in the moment. They don't last once they're not recorded.
Well, there you go.
If you miss a conversation, the opportunity is lost. So you have to be there all the time. And if you're not there, you're missing conversations and people are not hearing you. So yeah, do the math.
So if you are going to do that, you need to know what you're going to say so that you can get people to follow you and to get to you and become part of your list or buy from you. So you need to be then, like at every platform, strategic in what you do, not just go on there and have a conversation and leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we're coming up to the hour, so I think we can wrap it up. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. Is there anything else that we needed to share?
Rose is asking, if you're not going to be on Facebook anymore as CAF-Innate, how will you be able to post a question or query, and how will we be able to reach you via Telegram and the Academy? Yes, Telegram is our members' chat platform, where we ask all the questions. We encourage you to use that as your direct connection to us and to the other members. And then the Academy, yes, that's where we're putting all the content. And then our YouTube channel. That's where you can find us.
That's where you can find us if you're not a member of the Academy. And we do 2 lives every month on YouTube. One is where we talk about the specific whatever the content might be, giving you, tips and advice on something related to your online confidence, whether it's lead generation or content creation, something like that. So we do a live around a subject matter relating to that on around the middle of every month, around about the 15th of every month. And then we also do a live Q&A session relating to that same subject. So that's where you can get your specific questions answered. We do that about a week or 2 after our initial live session. And then we are also posting videos. So watch this space, make sure you are subscribed, because we're going to be sharing a lot more video content here on our YouTube channel. And then post your questions. We are actively monitoring. And so if you've got any questions relating to anything, whatever the video is, pop your comments beneath the video and we will answer you there. So that's where we're going to be engaging with our audience. If you have a YouTube channel, drop a link to your YouTube channel in the comments and we'll go subscribe to you, because we want to encourage our audience definitely to start getting comfortable with being on video, because we know how much value there is both in video and in being on YouTube. So we want to support you. So if you are there, please let us know, drop your links. And then let us know what kind of content you want to see on YouTube, and we will create it for you. That's part of our content strategy, is answering your questions. So you can post your questions in the comments and we will build it into our content plan.
Absolutely. And if you are interested in finding more about the CAF-Innate Academy, it's a community and learning hub for women over 40, women entrepreneurs over 40, where we help you with navigating the online marketing, specifically content creation. Abby is the content creation queen, specifically video, that's her baby. And then I'm on the lead generation. So all the processes and systems and strategies you as a business owner need to grow your business, to get those leads in, to get those clients in. So that's where we're sharing a lot of our knowledge. In the CAF-Innate Academy, we are working on some amazing roadmaps where we literally show you the whole process on creating your offers, creating your landing pages, your content, the promotion of it is all in our roadmap. So if you want to go and check out what CAF-Innate is all about, you can go to cafinnate.com/1 week, and you can try us out for 1 week. You can join our Telegram community. You can watch all masterclasses. You have also the Ask the Expert possibility where you can ask us questions directly. If you're stuck with anything specific, you have doubts, you just want a sounding board, we are there for you. So that's also part of the CAF-Innate Academy.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching the replay, please leave your comments or questions down below, and then let us know if this has sparked any ideas or sparked any courageous decisions to quit social media yourself, and where you're going to be hanging out, and drop your links down below so we can support you there. Fantastic.
And what channels you decide to be on. We would love to know.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We'll chat to you soon.
Bye-bye.